Hey, I'd like to introduce you to yourself. This is the Seeking SELFDOM Going Deeper podcast, and I'm your host, Akello Stone.
You may just be listening to this as an audio podcast, but if you're watching on YouTube, this is my favorite shirt of the season. I try not to wear it too much, but I love the way it feels and fits me, and I love the little tiny flowers. This is very big change for me, and I embrace it. I tend to wear a lot of black and grays and just basic colors like that. But let's begin with a question from my friend Cole Murray.
Why is meditation considered to be so effective in learning how to be present? And how does it carry over to your daily life?
Well, that's a really good point, because a lot of times people think that meditation is only what's happening while you sit. And if anything, and again, this is my point of view, and everybody has their own beliefs and ideas about meditation, but from my point of view, it really does offer the opportunity to be completely present in your body, because the physical body is part of the equation. And if we are present in our physical body, then we can then move towards being present in our mind. And once the meditation is over, throughout our lives, we can pull from that feeling of being present. We can pull from how that feels in our body, how that feels in our mind. We can create a sense of calm. It doesn't mean that our mind just rests. And then that's the other thing. I think that is a mythology around meditation. And again, at least for me, is when I'm meditating, my mind is flooded with thoughts. So it's not about quieting those thoughts to the point where you can't hear them. It's really about observing those thoughts that come up. Because when we give them attention, then there's this process in the mind, I feel, that begins to look deeper into that particular issue or thought. And we remove, again, I say this a lot, but remove the storyline of where that thought comes from, get down to the very core, which is usually emotional. And the emotional does manifest in our body. And so then we begin over time to learn the relationship between our mind and our body. You've heard the mind, body, and connection. That's not something you can just snap your fingers and do. The other thing about meditation I think is interesting is people always want to assume a certain position with their hands, and their body. And there are certain physical aspects of getting, into your meditation practice, but it's different for everybody. And it may be just sitting, like I'm sitting here with my hands on my thighs, and I may close my eyes so that my mind is not looking around the room, especially if you're in a room with like 30, 40 people. You can actually close your eyes in such a setting, and you can feel the vibrational energy of everyone in the room, and you know that they're all tapping deeper and deeper within themselves, but then also are aware of the physical presence and the vibrational energy of others. So it can be a magical thing if you go into it with an open mind, if you go into it without any expectation, but with clear intention.
I'm sure a lot of people think Elon Musk is delusional for his quest to get to Mars, but he has no doubt he can do it regardless of the setbacks. It brings to mind the Japanese proverb, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. How can you discern between being delusional and having an incredibly ambitious goal? Japanese proverb, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. How can you discern between being delusional and having an incredibly ambitious goal?
I had to play that last part twice, because I think people feel that every time they get up, they're never going to fall. And we also have this kind of idea, it's a delusional idea that failure will destroy our dreams and destroy our ideas. But it's about having an idea and having that idea turn into a passion, and then passion feeds your motivation. And if that motivation is fed, inspiration comes, effort comes, and all of that. So there is a really thin line between actuality and, impossibility. But if we live with impossibility in our lives, it's almost like that's the magic, I guess, of being an adult. And I like to discern between childhood and adulthood, because we lose a lot of our imagination when we become adults. But we can bring it back, and we can feel the power of doing something that's way outside the box. And if we have the resources to do that, let's be honest, if you have a lot of resources like Elon Musk, why not shoot for the stars, literally and, figuratively? So we can learn a lot from people who, when you hear the idea, I hear the concept of the mad scientist. There's got to be a little madness in there to go against societal norms, to go against criticism, and to potentially arrive at an end result that is not what you wanted, But again, and I say this many times, is we have to learn to find what value we have in the failure, because it's not 100% failure. Everything is not just about the product, So it's all right to be a little crazy, be a little crazy as long as you don't hurt somebody, right?
Why does the concept of time create pressure and anxiety in some people while others manage it so well, when time is the same for all of us?
Well, yeah, time is the same for all of us as it relates to kind of I'll call it the scientific concept of time, space. And what really is different for each and every one of us is our perception of time and how we react and respond to time. Now, again, as I've gotten older, I feel like time moves so fast, so much faster than when I was younger, where time would almost stand still. And I didn't even have the attention span to look at a clock and watch the hands move.
It's 11 o'clock.
I remember sitting and trying to watch, as a child, watch the hands of a clock move, and I just could not see that move. And then when I took my attention off and I would look up again, so it was 4:02, now it's 4:03, and I'm like, how did that happen? It seemed like waiting for things took a lot longer. And now, you probably get up at 6 a.m. and I'm working away, and the next thing you know, it's like 11 o'clock. And I was like, I can't believe that it's 11 o'clock already. Is it my perception of it? Is it because I know that as time continues to move forward, I continue to age, I continue to move closer and closer to the end? And, when it's almost like if you're trying to meet a deadline for something and you're behind, and as the deadline approaches, it just seems like time is accelerated, So it's a perceptual thing. But as an adult, we also know, like talking about getting behind on deadlines, right? As an adult, we're pretty clear about how long it's going to take to get something done, right? I think, maybe we're not, but most people are clear of that. And when they are not meeting those micro benchmarks to get there, which I believe time is like micro benchmarks, and time is also how everybody is operating simultaneously. The idea, do you have a clock in every room? Are you able to see the time wherever you are in your home? Like for me, I have to have a clock in the bathroom. So if I'm in a shower, I have to be aware of how long I've been in the shower, because I'll give myself a certain amount of time each morning to do what I need to do to kind of get up and get going, right? Everybody has a different rituals in the morning, and they take different amounts of time. And sometimes when something is thrown into the wrench of that, and then it throws your whole kind of time perception off, then the anxiety starts to come, right? I don't like people that don't have enough time to do that. We overextend ourselves. And again, that goes back to miscalculations around how much it takes to do this, to do that. And in between all that doing, we have to think and we have to feel and we have to experience. And then there's things that come up, the wild cards that we didn't expect. And we have to really become more cognizant of how much time it takes to do the things that we want to do, no matter how little or how small. I think a lot of times people in the realm of learning how to cook for oneself, maybe as the recipes get more complicated, we underestimate how much time it will take, because time and effort are also cousins. Effort, is like a measure of how much you can get done within a certain specified period of time. So it's all interrelated, but it's all perceptual. So the way that you view time is different than the way someone else views time, depending upon their experience, depending upon their cognitive ability, and maybe depending upon their age and how much they put on their plate. So examining time, I could spend hours talking about the different manifestations of time and what it means and what it doesn't mean and why do we have it. And it's all governed by celestial bodies, right? The moon, the revolution going around the sun. That's how we have constructed time and have then compartmentalized certain things. That's why we have kind of in the life course or certain kind of benchmarks that you should right, prescribe to do this at this point in time, at this point in time. So time is not something that we can control, but we can alter and change our perception of time so that it doesn't bring us the anxiety that time and time constraints usually do. Well, thank you so much. This has been episode 10 of Seeking Selfdom, Going Deeper. And I hope you continue to listen and enjoy and find some relevance in the ideas presented. Have a great day. Peace.